Jacob! I have brought you the most popular SCP creatures. Now, I want to bring you the SCP creatures that are unknown as of now. They are so new to the Foundation, they currently do not have numbers, and are yet to be added to the database. A huge shout out to the SCP Reddit community for discovering these terrifying creatures. Item name: Iceman. Object class: Euclid. The Iceman is currently impossible to contain, as it does not seem to have an area of origin, and all attempts to find one is impossible. The Iceman is a supernatural anomaly in which cold weather marks the final moments before an already deceased individual's death by freezing water into a human figure. In this case, a Iceman was creeping through a window to watch a young woman in the last moments of her life before being murdered. The strange anomaly only occurs if the humidity is above 50% and the temperature is close to the freezing point. The Foundation has had several figures appear outside and near Containment Site 4. The Foundation attempted to recreate the Iceman's effect by sealing a room in which many of the Foundation's personnel were killed. The test was proven successful, and the icy humanoid figures of the people were formed. Item name: Ningen. Object class: Euclid. All efforts to secure Ningen for containment in Foundation custody have to this point been unsuccessful. To limit further loss of the Foundation and civilian personnel alike, the perimeter around the undisclosed lake in Michigan has been cordoned off with 4-meter-high metal fence, fed with an electric current of 10,000 volts. No fewer than 7 armed members of the Mobile Task Force in seasonally appropriate camouflage attire are to be stationed around the lake at any given time. In the event that Ningen does eventually emerge from the lake, these guards are to establish an immediate secure radio contact with the undisclosed doctor, who will assess the situation remotely and instruct the Mobile Task Force to either hold position, open fire on Ningen, or commence Protocol 337 Kalamazoo. Ningen is a smooth grayed skin humanoid, approximately 8 feet tall, with webbed feet resembling flippers and no discernible facial features. Ningen is likely amphibious, but appears to greatly prefer the confines of the undisclosed lake, only emerging from its depths to patrol the perimeter for prey after extended periods during which nothing wanders into its waters. Ningen's anomalous properties are twofold. It is able to manipulate the surface tension and the temperature of the lake through unknown means, and is also able to move through both liquid and solid physical states of fresh water, provided there is enough water or ice to contain its body's mass. As a result, the danger posed by Ningen is compounded by cold weather. Supplementary recruitment to the Mobile Task Force is underway. Item name: Smoke Monster. Class: Euclid. The smoke monster can be contained sufficiently in a reinforced airtight container of at least 20 cubic centimeters. The smoke monster appears as a large mass of smoke, commonly taken on a semi-humanoid form. It behaves much like a tornado than an intelligent being, somehow creating localized gale force winds inside of its form and wandering around seamlessly and aimlessly. Any life forms that are in contact with the smoke, aside from dealing with fast-flying debris, also suffer from nightmare-like hallucinations and will enter a fatigue state that inevitably will draw them deeper towards the center of the cloud. As of January 2017, no subjects who have been drawn completely into the center have ever been found. There was an experiment to purify the smoke. This is the results. The last 3 tests came up with nothing, more wandering on part of the creature. A colleague suggested the preceding experiment. 11 a.m. Smoke monster is released inside a large airtight room and begins to take its regularly observed human shape. 11:10 a.m. It has been wandering around the outer rim of the room for 9 minutes with no purpose. 11:20. The air filter system starts. The excess smoke starts to be pulled towards the now open vents. 11:23. The smoke monster starts to notice the pulling of smoke. No smoke mass has been lost from the body at this point. 11:25. A low guttural growl starts to encompass the area. Guards hear it up to 200 feet away from the building. 11:30 a.m. A Approximately 5 minutes later, the filtration system shuts down. The power goes out. The backup generator kicks in. The experiment room is filled with an undisclosed gas to sedate the smoke monster. Experiment failed. Item: the wasp doll. Class: Euclid. The wasp doll appears to be a wasp nest of an unknown species of bees, situated on the branch of a small oak tree. This hive inhabits approximately 594 wasps as of 1/1/2017. The hive seems to have been built around a child's baby doll, with its hands ripped off. The other arm is mysteriously intact, but almost completely concealed. The anomalous effects of the wasp doll take place in the queen of the nest. Once the queen enters the head of the doll, the head appears to gain sentience. During this phase, the doll's eyes and mouth have full mobility, while the head can only swivel on a 360-degree axis, giving it the ability to see everything around it without moving or turning its body. Its arms remain immobile. Testing has shown that while the doll feels like plastic, it is actually made of a biological material with a texture similar to the plastic generally used in toy dolls. This does not answer why it cannot nod its head or move it up and down in any way. While in this state, the wasp doll is able to speak and converse its thoughts and ideas to site personnel. The doll speaks in a raspy voice and seems to be irritable constantly. The doll seems to be able to speak English, Portuguese, and Malaysian. There have been no reported instances of the wasp doll entering a positive emotional state. The dangers of the wasp doll are triggered in two possible ways: lack of food or direct assault of the hive or host tree. When the hive is directly assaulted, the majority of the hive's inhabitants, minus the queen, will exit the nest and proceed to swarm the targeted assailant. Being stung by even one of the wasps will result in a painful death within hours. Upon running out of food for the colony, once again, the wasp will swarm out of the colony. Generally, the wasp will surround the largest living being in the general vicinity and then sting the target until death. This generally takes up to 6.5 minutes. The wasp will then carry large chunks of meat back to the hive, bigger than they should physically be capable of picking up. It is also to be noted that the queen is the only one able to access the hive thus far, unless a large creature has been killed near the hive. It has been observed that during the conditions, the eye sockets of the doll are filled with wasps, possibly keeping watch of their prey so that other creatures do not attempt to make off with it. The wasp doll has been shown to cause nausea and sharp pain in the head of any victims that agitate or otherwise anger the colony in any way. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please contact me on Twitter.